than try. We're right at the edge of the sky. Now it's time to fly. Level up this time. No be smarting, we gon' level up. No more waiting.
I got 7 kids and 7 baby mamas. Now, for the past few days, I've been going live, telling my story, speaking my truth. And a lot of women having an issue calling me a deadbeat because I tell them I was being irresponsible, not wearing protection. But I always tell these women that I got pregnant that I do not want to be a father to these children. And I offer to pay for the abortion. Majority of times, they'll either take the abortion or they'll take a plan B. But only these 7 have kept these children. But the crazy thing about it is they want me to be responsible for some children I told them I did not want. So for some years now, some of them been trying to get in contact with me, access denied, because I don't really know why you trying to get in contact with me. I done told you I did not want them kids. So don't expect me to be responsible financially, emotional, spiritually, mentally, or physically with some kids I do not want. And I don't give a fuck what nobody think about it. You're not gonna force children up on me. Yeah, we both made the decision to lay down and have intercourse. We both was irresponsible about the decisions we made that night. Yeah, I could have pulled out, but I didn't. And I ain't care to pull out because I'm not the one that gonna have to carry a baby for 9 months.
Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Ajayi, and welcome to another episode of The Real Question. On today's episode of My Body, My Baby, we talk about the growing ideology out there on social media and in society at large that men should not have to take care of children they told women they did not want to have. And they are out there saying that women should get abortions or give their children up for adoption instead. Here to talk about her experience dealing with men who do not want to be supportive of the children or her is Rekita Alexander.
Hi.
Welcome, Rekita.
Hi.
And so Rekita is a mother of 9 children. The men have chosen to do other things versus be supportive of Rekita. And I want to just talk about your story today because this impacts so many families all over the nation.
Yes, that's one of the stereotypical things, of course.
Absolutely.
Man versus woman. Always.
Yeah.
But with me, for me, even when I had my first child, teenage mom, just turned 19, it was always, okay, have an abortion. First of all, no, that's my first child. Second of all, that's a life. So for me, I chose to keep all of my children, even though the situations I kind of pre-planned myself to be a single parent, not to be a single parent kind of thing.
Yeah.
So for me, it was, okay, if I choose to raise this kid and the father is already saying he doesn't want to be a part of the kid's life now, am I prepared to raise my kids by myself?
And I want to get into that. And I really do appreciate you coming here. It takes a lot of bravery to talk about this particular issue because there's a lot of judgment.
Yes.
All over it, right?
Yes.
Everyone's getting judged.
Yes.
And so we just watched that clip of the gentleman who's gone viral for talking about having 7 baby moms and really not feeling any accountability at all for those children.
Yes.
Watching that clip, how does that clip make you feel?
For me,
Yeah.
since I experienced that, it kind of makes you feel upset, but at the same time, I can kind of relate to him just a little.
Okay.
And by that, I mean, he stated that he told these women he didn't want to be a part of the kid's life prior to.
Right.
Whether that's true or not, who knows?
Right.
You know? But going into it, if the woman already kind of knows this is the type of man he's saying he's going to be, then mentally it puts a strain on the woman because they're like, okay, I'm pregnant. I got to decide whether or not to keep my baby because I have this guy saying he's not going to be a father. What is that going to look like 10 years from now when my child start asking the questions, hey, where's my dad? So for me, I've experienced that part as well.
And so for the audience, just what's the age range?
Okay, so I have a 21-year-old, a 19-year-old, a 17-year-old, a 15-year-old, a 11-year-old, 9-year-old, a 6-year-old, 5-year-old, and a 2-year-old.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
And what's the story? How did you get to 9 kids?
Okay, so originally it was only 4. I had the 4. My mom was really pressure for, so I got my tubes tied.
Okay.
She was like, "You're a single parent, you know, you're having all of these kids." So it kind
Or
of,
by the same man?
no.
How did we get to the 4?
So I had 2 by one guy and then 1 by 2 other dudes. So
Were these long-term relationships?
they were intended to be long-term relationships. They ended up not being long-term relationships because the father of my older 2 ended up going to prison.
Okay, so let's start with the beginning. The first 2 kids, their dad.
Yeah, so we were in a long-term relationship. Then I found out I was pregnant.
How long were you together first?
We was together about a year.
Okay.
Found out I was pregnant. Then, you know, there was a hot boy in and out of jail. So, you know, the circle cold.
Was he a hot boy before?
Yeah,
It was always a hot boy.
he was always a hot boy.
All right.
Okay, I was a hot girl at the time, you know.
What's that mean?
Meaning I like the danger, the tats, the about type of thing. Okay.
Got it.
So I was attracted to that. So, you know, had a kid. He was in and out. Then got into another relationship. But I still had feelings for this guy. So it was like when I would break up with that guy, I would go back to him. Ended up pregnant second time. Second time had the kid and we were like, okay, what am I gonna do now? He ended up going to prison. So that's how our relationship, I tried to do the whole your man down thing, but that was not for me.
Okay.
And then I felt like being a mom, I didn't want to take my kids to the jail to see him.
Sure.
Because I experienced that as a kid and it was not a good look going to see my dad, you know, in jail.
Okay.
So that's how I got the 2. Got out of that situation, got into another relationship, and I'm just saying I'm fertile, and I really wasn't thinking about the consequences, and boom, here come, I'm pregnant with baby number 3. So I was like, okay, got to make a decision. So for me, having the 3rd child, knowing the dad literally was not really going to be there, because I asked him, once I told him I was pregnant, I'm like, hey, if you're not going to be in her life, let me know now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I can go ahead and mentally prepare myself because I'm already doing this already. I contemplated adoption with her,
Okay.
but I decided, no, this is my child. I need to raise her. This is my responsibility. So I ended up keeping her. Of course, me and the dad was not together. 4th child, thought this was like, okay, I'm in a better relationship. He wasn't a high boy, you know, okay. Yeah, that didn't work out either. Like I think
How long did you know father, baby 3, and father?
not long at all.
What does that mean?
Meaning I literally got pregnant probably 2 months after sleeping with him.
Okay.
I'm just be honest. Like I said, I was a hot girl.
Okay.
So we really didn't have a relationship, but I wanted to have a relationship.
Sure.
He just was the type that slept with everybody, so that kind of made me like no.
Right.
Me. So when I got into the 3rd relationship, like I say, different type of dude, more docile, no tattoos, not a high one. I'm like, okay, this could actually work.
Right.
Yeah, no. He went to the military, and his play brother decided, oh, I'm going to tell him that we slept together. So he believed his play brother denied my daughter and married the chick that he slept with in the military.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was really, really, really difficult for me because I'm like, okay, this is not how I planned my life.
Yeah.
You know, but it just made me stronger as a mom. So I had the 4 kids. My mom's like, okay, you're struggling, you're doing this. Like I said, I'm still a teenager, still trying to learn how to be a parent by myself. So she's like, okay, get your tubes tied. Got my tubes tied.
After baby 4.
After baby 4.
Okay.
Tubes tied. Later on in life, about maybe a couple of years later, thought I found the man of my dreams. Got married.
Okay.
Untied my tubes.
Okay.
And had more children.
Within your marriage.
Yeah, within my marriage, yes.
So you came before, untied the tubes, and
I had 4 more within the marriage.
And how long were y'all married?
10 years.
Okay.
Yeah. It was rocky, but it was a marriage. Then we divorced. After my divorce, okay, I got 8 kids, raising them by myself. Pandemic hit. The ex reached out.
Oh no, not the ex.
Yeah, an ex from like my teenage years reached out.
Okay.
I wanted to get back, out there because I wasn't talking to anybody after my divorce. I went into a deep depression for 2 years. So when he reached out, I was like, okay, this is, new, but
Did you know you had 8 kids?
he did.
Okay.
He did.
Okay.
He did. And, we hooked up. I did let him know I was fertile. But, things happened and I have a baby now.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how I ended up with.
Baby number 9.
Yeah, the 9.
And so people are going to ask tough questions, so I'm going to ask them too, okay?
That's fine.
But I want you to know I'm here with you and it's all love. So the question is, you tell somebody you got 8 kids and they still want to get down. Is that not a red flag?
So here's the thing.
Especially since they popped up out of nowhere.
Well, yeah, here's the thing. So he thought he was shooting blanks. So, yeah.
He had a vasectomy.
No, he just thought he was shooting blanks. I guess previous relationships, they weren't getting pregnant or something. I don't know. This is just what he said. Thought he was shooting blanks and, yeah, so.
The importance of medical follow-up, medical knowledge in our community.
Right, but yeah, so that's how I'm like, well, clearly you're not.
Okay.
And as you can see, I'm still fertile.
Right.
Oh.
And so did he stick around to be supportive?
So, okay, in the beginning, he was mad as hell.
Mhm.
I'm talking about mad, furious. Woo!
Goodness gracious.
Some of the messages. He was very upset. You know what I'm saying? He was like, we wasn't together long. This was not in the plan, blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, look, this is my decision.
Yeah.
I'm keeping my kid, So he did, he was like, he didn't want to be a part of my son's life. So I wasn't the bitter baby mama that we get stereotyped.
Right.
So what I did, I said, okay, I'm not going to force you
Okay.
to be in his life. But what I started doing was sending pictures. I started sending pictures of my son. Milestones. Okay, this is him and 1 week.
Unsolicited photos.
Yeah. This is him and, because I'm like, even though you say you don't want to be a part of his life, I still want you to know who your son is. You know what I'm saying?
And what you're missing.
Right, and what you're missing out on. So eventually, he started coming around.
How long did it take?
About a year.
So how many photos is that? Like how often are you sending them?
Rare, when I take special photos.
At least once a month or?
Probably, yeah.
So let's hold it right here.
I ain't fooling just
Yeah.
burning them with people.
Because then it gets to be too much. Right. But let's hold it right here because I think this is a really important message for at least the women audience watching this. What you did was take some power back.
Yeah.
In that moment.
I did.
Who helped you figure out how to do that, or how did you even make that decision?
Myself. I got tired of the dads not taking accountability, not taking responsibility.
So by baby number 9, you had it.
Right. I'm like, look now, one, because I'm older,
right?
First of all, you know what I'm saying? See, when I was in my teenage years, I didn't care.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't care, but because I have the experience of what it did to my children mentally and emotionally, I'm like, okay, I got to stop somewhere.
Okay.
My first set, the older ones. So they experience their fathers not being there to where it kind of mentally and emotionally strained their relationships with trying to get into relationships for themselves. Like my older daughter, she really don't like being in relationships because of her father not being in her life. You know what I'm saying? Her not being able to have someone she could talk to about situations with God. So I had to step and be dad on those situations. Like, hey, you're not going to do this to my daughter. You're not going to, disrespect her. So I had to feel in that part. But it still put a emotional issue there.
Yeah.
Like with my 17-year-old, she had to witness it firsthand.
Yeah.
Meaning her dad was never around. And I don't sugarcoat things for my kids. So I'm like, I told her the truth about her dad. Like, he has other kids. See them all the time. But this one, you don't see, you don't call, you don't do anything. And she looks just like him. By the way, like literally. Mm-hmm. But she had to witness it for herself. Like, we had a situation, family friend involved, the aunt and dad, and he all of a sudden called. Oh, hey, what's going on with my daughter? I want to be in her life. And I told him, listen, at the time she was 16. I'm like, she's 16. Mm-hmm. What do you mean be in her life? Well, I want to talk to her. I want to, kind of build a bond. And I told him, hey, if you do that and you hurt her, it's going to be a problem between me and you. Mm-hmm. Because she's at a place where she kind of got used to you not being there. Mm-hmm. But now you want to be back in her life. Okay, I want to meet her. So she talked to him. She had a breakdown because it was emotional for her that, okay, finally, I feel like my dad is reaching out, want to spend time, want to bond.
Right.
That meeting never happened.
Dad didn't show.
Dad didn't call. Now she's 17, still nothing from dad, still no call. And I think that's the part that the men don't realize. Oh, well, I told her I don't want to be a part of the child's life, and she chose anyway. It still affects the kid. Whether it affects them as a small child, whether it affects them as an adult, either way it goes, you're going to get some type of issue. Like, the child is going to eventually want to reach out to their dad. Hey, okay, I get you might have told my mom, right, you didn't want to be a part of my life, but I'm here. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So they don't get that part. The moms, us, we're always stuck with having to fill in that gap. Mm-hmm. Well, why did my dad want me? Why was he so gung-ho about you not having me type of situation? So we deal with that. Mm-hmm. It took me maybe 15 years to be okay with the idea of not being stigmatized by society of being a single parent.
Is it that you're a single, is the stigma for you that you're a single parent, or is the stigma for you that you're a single parent of 9, or is the stigma for you that you're a single parent with how many baby daddies, 4 or 5?
I have 5.
Okay, which one of those, or is all?
It's all 3. Okay. So for me, I can go somewhere with my children, mm-hmm, and they're like, "Oh, are all those yours?" Okay. I'm like, no.
So people would ask you, well, why?
I have no idea.
What is the goal of asking?
I have no idea. People do this often. I go somewhere and I have all my kids. They're like, "Oh, are all those yours?" I'm like, "Nah, I kidnapped some children last night. Of course, they're all mine."
Well, but your oldest is 21.
Well, so he doesn't stay with me anymore, but I still have the 8. So even when I go out.
And how is the oldest out of the 8?
She's 19, but we still do family things together.
Right. So are they asking, could some of them be her kids maybe?
No, they've never asked that.
Oh.
So, for example, if we go somewhere, they're all like behind me. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like
ducklings.
Right. Right. So you see all these kids. Right. And I'm like, why do people ask me all those? And I also get the question, oh, well, so you and your husband must be doing really good for yourselves. I'm not married.
Where do you think that question comes from?
Because they feel you have to be married to have a lot of children, apparently.
Oh, I felt it like they assume you've got bread, money to be able to have 8.
So I'm like, I'm not married. So then when I tell them that, they're like, oh, so you must be on Section 8.
Wait, it goes to Section 8?
Directly to Section 8. Oh, so you must be on Section 8. Oh, actually, no, I own my home.
And?
Oh. Then when I say that, they're like, oh, then they get to looking at whoever they with. Why are you whispering? Am I not supposed to be able to own my own home because I have a lot of children? Am I supposed to be on Section 8?
Well, That is the perception.
And that's the perception. I get it often. I literally have like this lady who stays in my neighborhood. I call her a Blairin.
A Blairin?
Yeah,
What's a Blairin?
She's a black Karen.
Oh, Lord.
And she literally likes to call code enforcement on me.
Okay.
So
Is she part of your HOA?
no, I'm not even a part of a HOA, actually. She actually lives in the subdivision down
Okay.
from my house, okay? So she calls code enforcement on me often. So she came into my yard about a tree, okay? And she was like, oh, you need to tell your landlord to come remove the tree. I'm like, my who? She's like, your landlord? No, I don't have one of those. I own this house. Oh, I thought you was on Section 8. No, ma'am, I'm not on Section 8. I own my home. And I've removed my tree when I feel like it. You know what I'm saying? But it's that perception that people get when they see a woman with a lot of kids. Oh, she's either on Section 8 or she's mooching off together. She's doing something where we can't successfully live on our own. I have my own business.
Okay.
You know?
Congratulations.
Thank you.
What's the name of your business?
Motherly Touch Doula Services.
You're a doula.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yes.
So that kind of speaks to your heart and your nurturing spirit. And
So before I did that, I actually had a daycare in my home for 15 years.
so you started off with a home daycare.
Yeah.
Then transitioned to being a doula?
Yeah, because I started having more kids on my own.
You are an expert in pregnancy.
So I was like running out of space. So I was like, okay, I got to do something else.
Okay.
But yeah, being a doula is like so rewarding because I can help moms have natural childbirth.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I get those stereotypes. I get because my children have different complexions. Oh, you must have adopted that one. No, these are all my kids. I literally have a shirt now
Okay.
that when we go on vacation, it says, yes, they're all mine. So they won't even have to ask the question
Yeah.
because
I must get the question a lot.
I do. Everywhere I go and I have all my children with me, I get the question.
So you're speaking to what sounds like a double standard, a stigma, bias. And so the question becomes, what is the society perception on men who have a lot of kids?
They don't care. They dapping them up. Oh, okay, that's my dog. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you got how many baby? My man, go dog. You know what I'm
You
saying?
think men are
Yeah,
applauded
they are.
for having a lot of children?
They are. Because they don't look at the mental aspect. They don't care about the mental or emotional aspect of the kid or the mom. They don't care.
Well, let's relate it to the guy we just watched on this clip. He's, I would say, pretty strongly opinionated that if he tells you I don't want a child and you have a child, he ain't got nothing to do with it. How do you feel about that? Because he now has 7 kids, right?
Yeah.
Do you think he'll get applauded?
I don't think he'll get applauded because of what he's saying
Tell me.
and how he's saying it. Well, I told her I didn't want to have a baby. She still did it anyway. I ain't got to do nothing. So it's how he said it. So if he had said like, well, you know, I told her, she still chose. I'm not really responsible for the child. It could have been a little different.
You don't like his messaging?
No,
Okay.
because I can relate to him. You know what I'm saying?
So you agree in some ways?
In some ways, if a guy tells you ahead of time, hey, I'm not ready for a kid and I'm never going to be ready for a kid and you still have the kid, you kind of already know.
Well, that's not your story. From what I sat here and just heard, your story was a story of falling in love, falling in
Right.
infatuation, being sold false promises,
Right.
and then being told, I'm not going to be.
Exactly.
So-
if he's saying, I'm going to put my quotation in, if he's saying, he's telling the women ahead of time, hey, you know what I'm saying, we're doing this and we're not using protection and I don't want a kid, then it's kind of like he's forewarning them, but they're still both.
So in that moment, you feel like when the man says that, 100% of the responsibility is now on the woman?
Not 100%.
I don't understand how you can't
No.
say that.
So it's still, because you both, they still taking a risk. He's 50-50. You know you can have kids.
But it sounds like you're saying him saying, I don't want a child, absolves him of that risk.
No.
No.
It doesn't absolve him of the risk because he's still choosing. Even after stating, you don't want a kid, you're still choosing.
So then is there any power in him stating,
unprotected.
So the question is there any
Still
power?
responsible.
So is there any power in him stating in the beginning, we're going to do this raw and uncut,
Yep.
but I don't want a child with you?
Yep.
Is there any power in that?
It has to be.
How is there power?
Because of the simple fact, even though you're saying you don't want a kid,
Mhm.
you still chose to go in this woman unprotected.
That's what I'm saying.
Still know this woman can get pregnant.
Yeah.
You still know a child can come of it. Whether you told this woman to get an abortion or not, that's her body.
So then do you still agree? Do you still agree with him then?
No. No.
The real question is, can you agree with someone who has the power to change their mind on you, and you're still the one left with a baby at the end of the day?
No, I can't. Because the thing is, even though he told her, or let's say if I was the woman,
Yeah.
and he told me, hey, I don't want to have a kid, and we still have unprotected sex, and knowing there's a risk, and you already know that I'm not going to have an abortion, you already know I'm not going to take a plan B, you already know that I'm going to have a kid. Like, come on. Eventually, you're going to have to take responsibility at some point. But the thing is, like, for me, I'm not going to force you.
What does that mean?
Meaning, I'm not going to be like, hey, you got to come do this, or you're a kid. I'm not going to do that. I've never been that type of baby mama. I've never been the, oh, since you ain't, I've never been that type. I've been it's your decision. If you eventually decide you want to be a part of the child's life, then hey, be a part of the child's life.
So you don't believe in going to court, is what I've heard just now.
Right. So originally with baby number 3, I told the dad, hey, you can give me $200 a month
Okay.
and get your daughter every other weekend.
So you can make your own arrangement.
Yeah, so that I can continue to work.
Okay.
Yeah, didn't do that. So I had no choice.
What's your philosophy about court, and why didn't you go to court? Especially coming out of the marriage. I mean, that one for sure.
Another situation. So even if I try, it's a no contact order in place. So
Oh,
I don't want that there.
you put a restraining order on.
Yeah, it's a no contact order in place. He can't even contact my children. So
Does that mean that you can't seek him for child support though?
I don't even want it.
You don't want him or the support?
No. That's how bad it was.
Okay.
Yeah, don't support, don't write, don't tweet, don't nothing.
Okay.
So yeah,
Right.
but yeah, for me with the courts, it's just with the courts, it makes it kind of rough. Now I did have to go to court with one, and he was kind of mad about it, but it was because he denied my kid.
It makes it kind of rough. What does that mean exactly?
Which mean with the
You said when you go to court, it makes
because
What
because if they don't pay, then the dad's license gets suspended. If the dad's license gets suspended, all right, they're gonna work.
Oh, so you're looking at it from the perspective of the man.
Right.
So you're trying to protect these men.
No, I'm not trying to protect them. It's just that if it's the father of my child and the only way you can provide for their child, you have to have your license. If you don't pay, then of course they finna snatch it. You in jail, how you gonna take care of your kid?
Is this someone who's taking care of your kid anyway?
Yeah, I mean,
No, I'm sorry. Is this person taking care of your kid anyway?
yeah. But it's like, so if they go to jail, once they go to jail, their support stops because they're
But I'm saying, what is that person supporting you in the first place?
kind of, yeah,
So are you getting support from the men?
one.
Okay, what about the other 4 guys?
No.
You didn't go to court on them.
So, okay.
That's what I'm talking
The older 2
Mhm.
in prison.
Is he still in prison?
Yes.
Oh.
Everything now, ever.
Oh, he never come.
So the second one doesn't care to send support, try to support, nothing. So it's just null and void. The third one,
I don't get the null and void. I'm trying to figure out.
So
Did you take him to court? Yes or no?
null and void meaning I tried to get support and it was so one of those long processes. I'm just like, at this point, I don't even want it.
I don't understand. Did he have the bread or no bread?
No, but now he has it. But it was just like the court process of trying to get it.
What does that mean?
Meaning you got to go to court.
Okay.
You got to show up. It was just,
The time out of your day.
it was draining
Okay.
just to get it. I was
see.
just like, bye. The third one, he's really good. He's a good dad. Like, he has a bond with his daughter, so I don't have any complaints with him.
Okay.
The fourth one, that's the ex-husband. He's in prison as well.
So 2 of the guys are in prison.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. 2 of the guys are in prison. And then the last one, we're working on it.
Okay. That's the guy from 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's still kind of fresh.
Yeah.
All right.
So we were working on, getting him to be involved. But like I said, the pictures started with the pictures.
With the pictures.
It started with the pictures. Some guys have to get acceptance. They have to
It's a lot.
accept the fact that, oh my God, I have a kid. So for some men, even after they get a girl pregnant and they're like, oh God, I got a girl, they mentally can't process the fact, oh my God, I got another kid, man, dang. So it's like for both parties, it's both mentally frustrating. But for me, I'm at a place where I feel like I'm a single parent by choice.
Have any of the fathers ever questioned the paternity of these children?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yes. So, the third one.
The one that...
Oh, the fourth one. I'm sorry, the fourth one. The fourth one questioned paternity after his brother claimed we slept together. And I'm like, okay, right. I wouldn't set you with a 10-foot pole or whatever.
Yeah.
So he did question the paternity. And that was it.
None of the others. They knew they were guilty.
Yeah. So now I did have a situation with my second child. So I breastfeed, and sometimes when you breastfeed, you ovulate different times. So I was in a relationship, broke up with this guy, slept with my first baby daddy, got pregnant. Okay? By the calculations, I assumed it was my boyfriend's. However, it was not. But I let him know, like, hey, this is not your kid.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, look, you already know we were separated at the time, but the father knew that my daughter was his. Like, well, why didn't you say anything? Like, this whole situation could have been avoided.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
I've had those situations, yeah. You can tell, like, with all the kids, I've had so many different situations.
I'm like, you have had to have some situations, but you're coming through it, and I applaud you for your strength. Yeah, thank you. In your answer to the show, you had talked about your thoughts on people like Nick Cannon. And I know Nick Cannon is famous for having a lot of children, and I don't even know how many he has anymore or how many baby mamas, but I guess my only thought is, how do you feel when you see that?
With his situation, he can financially support the children.
Okay.
But it's the mental and emotional part that takes a toll on the children. I'm a single parent and my kids are in the house with me, and I have to divide time. I have to make time for each kid. Each kid has to have their attention.
Right.
And then you have all these kids
in different homes.
Yeah. How are you going to mentally and emotionally give them the attention they need? Because you may feel like you're giving it to them, then that child grow up and like, well, I didn't get the love that I need, and it's an issue. I deal with that because 2 of my children are dealing with mental issues, and it stems from that. It's that I don't feel like mom had enough time for me, especially my middle baby. She feels like she gets no attention at all.
Yeah.
But it's having to divide that time.
Yeah.
Really, really hard.
But that doesn't seem like it has really anything to do with being a single parent. I think that if you had 9 kids split between 2 folks, there's some kids that are going to probably feel.
It's still going to be an issue of the time.
So do you feel like you're better than someone like a Nick Cannon, or do you feel like you're actually kind of in the same boat?
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as Nick Cannon. It's just he got more money than I do.
And that's what makes him maybe feel like he's in a better position than someone.
He has more money than me. But, I mean, even if I had the money, it's still the time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's still that time. You emotionally have to spend time with these kids.
But do you take any accountability for that is my question. Do you take accountability for the fact that
I have 9 children?
Not just you have 9 children, but that some of your kids feel like they don't have enough of you because they can't cut you up 9 ways.
I do.
How does that feel? What does that take you?
For me, I have a therapist.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a therapist. For me, it takes an emotional toll on me.
Yeah.
Because I cannot. It's like with my oldest son, he felt like If he had a magic wand, he would just make all his siblings disappear because he feels like I didn't give him that attention like I could. But the thing is, I couldn't. At the time, I couldn't give him all of the attention that he needed because guess what? I had a smaller child that required more of my attention, more of my time. So it's really hard, and it takes a toll on a mom because you're like, okay, I gotta divide this time. I gotta, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now what I do with my children, I do different things with each one of them.
Oh, good.
Then I have, like, with my older children, we have group chats.
Well,
Let's discuss what's going on with your life, you know, so we're able to, I'm trying to give each person their individual.
what you can.
Yeah.
But in the middle of all that, where are you? Where's Rekita?
Nowhere. I don't get no time to myself at all. I literally don't. I'm actually planning a trip in June.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a girls' trip. No kids, no drama, no stress. Okay.
Yeah.
But I don't get time for myself.
But that's no good either.
It's not. That's why I have a therapist. And this is why I talk to my therapist, because I have not been able to make time for myself.
Right.
So this will be the first time in how much time is 21 years that I will be able to make time
Wow.
for me. It's really hard. It's like I go in the bathrooms. You got a kid. Hey,
Yeah.
and so I have a conversion van and I tinted the windows. So now I sneak away
Okay.
a little bit just to kind of hide from
You go hide in the van?
I go hide in the van
Wow.
and watch TV. Yeah, and then eventually a child finds me.
I have a hot topic for you. I want to ask you, put you on the spot.
Okay.
Do you think that if polygamy was more of a thing, was more of a societally accepted thing, because that's what's going on right now. A lot of men in media talking about they want multiple women. They don't want a monogamous relationship with
Right.
women. Do you think that if polygamy was more of an accepted thing, women like you wouldn't be in your situation?
Because I feel in my situation.
Women like you, maybe not you.
Nurse even see, but me, I mean, I don't know. I can't say. I'm quite sure there's a lot of women like, yeah, I love to be because I have help. But me personally, no, I'm good.
You wouldn't be in a polygamous situation?
No.
Even if it meant more support for your
Even
children?
if it meant more support for my children, it'll confuse them even more.
This kind of bleeds over into politics too.
Yeah.
All across the nation, the Republican Party has been trying to kind of pull back abortion rights for women ever since the overturning of Roe v. Wade.
Right.
So I wonder, considering what we just watched on this clip, this is a man who feels a lack of control. He feels like even if I tell a woman I don't want a baby, she can still go have one, then go to the courthouse and then change the course of my life forever because I only, had one shot at it.
Then he should strap it up.
I hear you. Well, my question is, that lack of control amongst men in what is a very intimate moment of creating a child, do you think that has anything to do with why there's so much legislature right now trying to regulate women's abilities to have abortions?
Yeah, because, it's always been a quote-unquote man's world. So now that women are being able to gain some type of power, is mentally messing with some men.
Yeah.
Like they mentally cannot handle, oh my God, she has the right to do this and I have no say. No. That's just like a woman telling a man, hey, go get snipped. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want no more kids. And the man like, I ain't gonna go get, you know what I'm saying? So it's like a double standard. If we can't tell a man to go get snipped, then how can a man tell us
that you can't have an abortion?
We got to have an abortion or we got to take the Plan B? No.
But I guess the real question at this moment is it fair that a man doesn't have any say-so?
No, it's not fair.
After he walks away?
No, it's
tonight?
not fair. that a man does not have a say-so. However, y'all two consenting adults. There should be a way for you to come to an agreement or an understanding. Okay, yes, you did tell me you don't want no kid.
Yeah.
But you still chose to sleep with me unprotected.
Okay.
You know there's a chance I'm gonna get pregnant. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, no, it's not fair to the man. But like I said, it's got to be some type of communication, some type of understanding.
But is it fair? How do you feel about the thought that women who have those babies, knowing that that man doesn't want to be there, are just trying to control that man and force him to be?
Those women have some seriously mental issues they need to resolve.
Maybe.
I feel like I wouldn't, if a guy tells me, hey, I don't want a kid, abort the kid. I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to force you to be in a kid's life. I'm just going to show you, hey, this is what you're missing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm still not going to be like, hey, you got to do X, Y, and Z because you told me you don't want a kid.
Maybe not you.
You know what I'm saying?
What can you think about women at large?
I can understand some women just doing it for spite. Some women do things like that for spite.
And control.
And control the man, but it still ain't gonna control that man. It's gonna make things worse. You know what I'm saying? Like, I tell my daughters, having a baby is not gonna keep a man. Okay? You know what I'm saying? So don't think, oh, well, if I had this baby, he don't know. I said, look at your mom. I was married. And I'm still listening. Please don't think that having a baby is going to keep a man. Having a baby is going to hurt that man. It's not. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, you're going to be stuck raising that child. You're going to be the one with the mental anguish, the crying at night if you can't, because you can't provide for your child.
Yeah.
Those are the things you have to think about when you are having a kid, which is why for some people, some women who know they're not ready, should be able to have an abortion.
Yeah.
Even though I'm not one of those women, but I'm just saying, I don't knock a woman that has them, you know what I'm saying? But they should be able to make the decision whether or not they want to be a parent.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So.
And certainly here at The Real Question, we're pro-choice. We definitely believe that everyone has the right or should have the right to govern their own body.
Exactly. Because people ask me, they go, well, why didn't you abort some?
Yeah.
Because guess what? It was my choice.
Yeah.
And my choice was, I wanted all my children.
Yeah.
That's why. And that's why I have all of them.
And, you know, I'm glad that you exercised your choice and that you ended up finding the love, the space, and the capacity to care for all these children, because it's a lot.
It is.
And I wonder, what is the hardest part about caring for so many kids?
I think for me, it's more so the time. Just
time management.
People are like, well, how do you afford them? I'm an extreme couponer, okay? I have to budget everything.
I was about to ask, like, how I'm not trying to count your coins, but.
Yeah, but I'm an extreme couponer.
Okay.
First of all, I never pay full price for anything.
Okay.
That's just me. For some things, you be like, I got to pay how much?
Right.
This is not worth that price. But yeah, I'm an extreme couponer. My kids are not the idealistic kids. They're not materialistic.
Okay.
So that was a blessing. Thank God for that.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't live above my means. You know, you have some people out here trying to impress everybody. They want their kids to impress, the other kids, and I'm not like that. So for me, that's how. But that's it.
You make it sound so easy.
A lot of people say I make it look easy. I know how, but I mean, I do, but it's like one of those things is something I have to do. Like, you know how people have to get up and go to work?
Yeah.
Being a mom is my job.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I have to make sure my kids are straight by any means necessary. If I got to get out there and get dirty and grimy, I'm going to do that for my kids because these are my kids. I produced these kids. I had these kids. I have to make sure they're good.
And so it sounds like the kids gave you a fire, a drive.
Yeah, to be honest, like I said, I was a hot girl. And when I found out I was pregnant with my son, I had him like 4 weeks later, wasn't prepared mentally for no kid. It changed me.
Yeah.
It literally slowed my life down. And I feel like if I did not have my children, I would not be sitting here.
Would you still be a hot woman?
I would not be sitting here. I probably would be dead.
Oh.
Yeah, I probably would be dead.
What makes you feel like you wouldn't have made it this far without your
life.
The lifestyle?
The life I was living.
Okay.
Like, you know, you hear the stories about the human trafficking and all of that. Yeah, that was my life.
Yeah?
Yeah, that was my life.
Were you ever a victim of trafficking?
Yeah, that was my life. Just I'm telling you, that was my life. And that's why I say if I didn't have my children, I won't be here.
Is that how you got out of the life? They didn't want you because you had a child?
No, it wasn't that they didn't want me. I left that life. Like when I hit 18, I realized this is not the life I want. It was a struggle.
Yeah.
Because that was, you know, muddy. But it was a struggle. But when I had my son, it was like, okay, I got to slow down. But when I had my daughter, I think when I had my daughter, that was it. It was like, okay, you need to really slow your life down.
Yeah.
So my kids changed me completely from where I was then to who I am now.
Well, amen.
Yeah. Yeah, let's say amen again.
Yeah.
That one, because people they be like, you what?
Well, you're going to be a beacon of light and hope for a lot of young women. And hopefully you are a breath of fresh air for some young men out there. I wonder, what would you like your final words to be to the people who have heard you today?
Everybody has a choice in the situation. Everybody has a decision. It's what comes out of the decision that causes the change. So if you know you don't want kids, strap up.
Yeah.
If you know the guy doesn't want kids, don't force him.
Right.
Especially nowadays, these men crazy. And some of these women too, I ain't even gonna tell my story, but nowadays, it's really rough. So like if somebody was to say, hey, I don't want a kid, don't give them one. Take that and run. Just like, okay, you know what? You don't want a kid? Here you go, put this on. I was saying, because it's just a lot going on now.
It seems like you're arguing for deeper, more meaningful conversations before you get in the bed and make those permanent.
Everybody need to be on the same page.
Absolutely.
Basically. Because if I'm telling you I'm fertile, hey, I'm fertile. And you still decide to let's get down in the bed.
Right.
You know, eventually there's a baby gonna come from that.
Right.
You know, but yeah, so now anytime a guy tries to talk to me, hey, I have 9 kids.
Yeah. The first thing you say.
Oh, hey, let me get your number. Listen,
Uh-huh.
I have 9 children, sir. Okay? You say, hey, with that, whatever you want, but yeah, I have 9 of them. 9? I'm good, yeah.
Yeah. That kind of sets the tone.
Yeah, it does. It does. And then they go running. So that for me, that's my birth control. So as I say 9, they're like 5. Like, good, thank you. I don't need this headache.
Well, we're certainly grateful, Rekita, for you stopping by The Real Question and giving us your experience and being brave and honest. And thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Well, there you have it, folks. And here's the real question. Where does the rights of a woman to have support for her baby begin? And where do the rights for a man to say he's not interested in supporting a child end? I believe that the real issue here is consent. And I think that it's a little bit outdated for men to only have one chance to say yes or no to having a baby during copulation. And after the act is over, we have 9 months of time during which men don't have any more choices in the matter and are then held financially and legally responsible for children they didn't want to meet or care for. I believe that we need to take a stronger look at our legislative services and our current way of doing things and figure out if there's a better way in order to figure out where support begins and where consent ends. Again, I'm Dr. J. Ajayi, and I hope we've connected minds on the real question. Thank you for watching.
level up. No more waiting, we gon' level up. I feel it in my spirit, we gon' level up. No wahala, cause the problem, we gon' level up. All my friends with it, we gon' level up. Deep down, I believe it, we